Hi everybody, this is Karen again from the University of Connecticut.
Brittany from Florida Southern College.
Eric Wark from State College of Florida, and we're here today to talk about how to do patch plating. Okay, so the first thing that you need to do is get two fresh of the same types of media plates that your students had done their spread plating on, and get some form of a grid system. So here are varying types of grid systems that we are using, and I like the larger patches the better. So this is the zone where students are going to be overlaying their Petri dishes onto to make their master plates. So
why do you prefer the larger grid?
I prefer the larger grids because the bacteria can spread out onto the Petri dishes and sometimes swarm or take over neighboring colonies. So when you're doing this, it is important to make sure you label the base of the Petri dish in a particular orientation, so that way both Petri dishes can be aligned. So you just need toothpicks, sterile toothpicks for this. And grab your spread plates. So grab any of the spread plates. You want to try to pick colonies that are diverse. You don't want to pick the same exact colony over and over again. Now, our Petri dishes have only been incubating for 1 day from our soil sample isolation. So we're not going to see a lot of diversity on these plates yet. So we're still just going to pick a colony, and we're going to patch it into the first position. So Brittany, what do you call this? You call this like skating on ice?
Skating on ice, yes. You don't want to push down too hard or you're going to stab your auger. There's a gentle hand.
So as you can imagine, a lot of the students, they tear the auger with this. They are not very gentle with this step, so you might want to remind them too. So again, I'm going to avoid any of the mycoides. So the mycoides again kind of looks like the galaxy on the Petri dish. It's kind of in the auger. I'm going to stay away from that because that will take over the Petri dish.
And Eric, why are you making two master plates?
So what I like to do is I like to have a working plate, something the students will routinely work from, and then a backup plate that is going to be used in case contamination occurs or something that can be used for storage later on. So if you don't like these large patches, you could also use smaller grids. So this is a representation of smaller grids. For me, this is just a little bit more advanced than what most introductory students are going to be comfortable using. You're going to have to get a lot of intricacy into keeping these patches well maintained.
They do actually sell adhesive labels that you can also buy that you can stick right onto the bottom of your Petri dish that have a smaller number of grids if your budget allows. And a lot of places are drawing the grids right on the Petri dish. So it just depends on what works for you. But there's lots of different options. I think the biggest thing is always making sure there's space for your colonies to grow so you have enough biomass to work with while you're doing downstream tests.
So then we're just going to incubate our Petri dishes at room temperature, and we will come back tomorrow to see how our patch plating turned out.
Great. Thanks, Eric.
Or whatever the initial incubation temperature was.